bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go.
Live in the BO3 final between Team Jager and Team Chucks. We have been able to decide the map series with both the teams, banning the maps they don't want to play. So Team Jager very smartly banned Mirage here. We have seen Team Chucks perform rather well on that map, and it's one of the maps Team Chucks really favors. So Mirage has been banned. First map will be Dust 2. And the second would be Inferno, and then the final deciding if they go there could be Overpass. Both the teams are quite evenly poised. I think both the teams winning their respective matches on Friday and Saturday has meant that we are up with it. Both evenly sized teams with good competitive power and good firepower in them to see who gets through and wins this BO3 final. It's going to be interesting to see quite an interesting dynamic. Dust 2, especially a map wherein your A-long battles and A-long control is very important for either side. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic to see, how both teams go about it, especially the Team CT. It's a very T-sided map, so Team CT, how they manage A-long control and how do they take map controls and when do they decide to push for information would be really interesting to see, since the map as a whole doesn't really have such a long rotation in mid, but they do not want to lose mid control and Dust 2 as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage, especially around A short and A long area. It becomes very difficult to hold for CTs if they do not have the proper utility to hold back, since A long can be flashed and can be rushed. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams tackle that today. If I go about introducing both teams, so for Team Chucks, we have Bazooka, Chucks, Pex, Corp, and I'm so sorry, last name isn't quite clear. But for Team Jaeger, we have Rabbit, Evolve, Enemy, Offline,
थोड़ी
and
चालू कर ले.
so it's kind of interesting to see how we go about playing this one and how this BO3 series goes about. And we'll kick off with Dust 2 shortly. I think what another aspect to look at it is that both the teams going in have managed to really dominate their initial matches. Even Team Chucks, who started very strongly on Mirage, even though cash was rather close for them and they nearly net edged out Team Jaeger initially. But it's going to be interesting to see how they perform today. Do they keep the tempo up like they did in Mirage, and try to outsettle the CTs and not let them settle into their defenses and their rhythm, or they want to play much more passively and take map control using smokes and using flashes. So it's going to be interesting to see what strategy either team goes into, who wants to be the aggressor here. I think the whole map dynamic for Dust 2 is quite fast paced. It's a map that has been played for ages. Since the beginning of Counter-Strike, this is one of the most played maps. So it's going to be interesting to see how both the teams go about approaching this map. But I think one thing is for sure that T2 traditionally is famous for its A-long battles and A-long control and quick, fast-paced rushes. So it's going to be how the CTs want to approach it would be interesting. Another thing that this map really can be decided basis is the op battles. Whosoever wins the op battles should have the map secured, since these have very long positions. So using those ops to control the map at different areas is very important. So either sides have quite capable operators. So it's going to be something to say who for the team. Either team decides to pick up the op. I think for Team Jaeger, I'm confident that the op can be picked up by Enemy, JD, and Rabbit. Offline can op as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who finally decides to pick this up today and who would like to be the IGL for the team. Whereas for Team Chucks, we know that Scorp is a capable opper, and so is Bazooka. So it's going to be interesting to see, do they switch it up from their initial match? They have already shown a lot of the playing styles. So would they want to continue with this, or would they want to switch it up? So let's see how this one goes. But as of now, I think we're very excited to see how both the teams have prepared and look at each other's demos. I think they have realized that they're both the teams have very different and distinct play type. Team JD likes to kind of assess the map, take that mid-round calls, and then make a rotation. Whereas Team Chucks, traditionally, they are kind of team who works on bases, rushing, and not letting the team settle. And I think we have seen Team Chucks can get overwhelmed if they lose a couple of rounds in a row. They do get overwhelmed rather quickly. But again, I think one of the most important things in these PO3s is that mental control. Staying strong mentally and not, even if you lose a couple of matches, not letting it get to your head and not getting that too negative with it. So let's see how this one goes. But as of now, I think both the sides are just trickling into this match. We are very close to going live. Barring we're just waiting for one more player to come, and then we should be good to go. So yep, I think it's one of these matches which is going to be very high impact with a lot of frags going either ways. Since both the teams have a lot of high impact fraggers on both sides, and I think we can safe to say that each one of the players in the playing 10 can win it for their team individually. So that's also a very interesting dynamic to see here. Uh, you know, traditionally we have seen with teams with high impact fraggers, what they really need is a good support player. And for Team JD, I've seen the enemy play that role rather well. Flashing his team and smoking different angles out for his team, and it's something that even offline can do well. Whereas Rabbit is kind of player who would love to lurk and love to play slow, and and whereas JD can play everywhere. JD can literally play every role. He loves entering. He loves taking those aggressive peaks, like getting those angles secured for his team. So it's an interesting dynamic to see how the team decides to play there. Whereas for Team Chucks, we know that Chucks is is a very hybrid player. He would love to play slow at certain angles while holding, but can also switch it up rather quickly and rush. And Bazooka And Spot have a game built in wherein they love to push, they love that information for the team, and then they would want to hold and pick up angles. So it's going to be interesting to see who for Team Chucks would play that support role. We've seen previously Peak play that and Ramsey play that support role wherein they have been flashing their team in and helping their team smoke out angles. And so I think a lot of this would be that initial, unlike most games, I think a lot of this game would be decided in the initial interactions rather than the mid-game interactions, just because how aggressively both the teams can play. Even though Team JD rather plays passively initial rounds, but they can switch it up as well. So I think a lot of interesting transactions built in. I think we're very close to going live now. And we should be live in the next couple of seconds. So we should be good. This is again once again for the viewers joining in now. I think this is a BO3 battle. Whosoever wins the prize money. A lot of things online here. Just not just the money, it's the pride, it's the willingness to outgun the other one. So both the teams very well equipped to win this one. First map will be Dust 2, followed by Inferno, and if we are not able to decide it by then, last map would be Overpass. We have seen Team Chucks previously play Cash and Overpass and Mirage, and we saw that Team Chucks was able to dominate Mirage rather well, just attacking one single side. But when a map has shorter rotations instead of longer rotations, their team really suffers. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out. We should be good to go now. I think we just one player shot on the counter-terrorist side. Team Chucks with 4 players. Team JD with 5. And with this thought process, I would rather like to hand it over to my co-host, Donali Bhaiya. What do you think, Donali Bhaiya? How would this one go? Especially Dust 2 with their long off battles.
Well, T2 is pretty much the ancestor of Mirage, so I'm expecting it's going to be very similar, and the strategy of the team Chucks is going to be pretty much same: attack long and just play aggressively over there.
Yep, I agree. The way they played Mirage was to overwhelm the team with flashes and smokes and then enter the side quickly.
And that's
So
the
it,
exact same strategy that works on A long at Dust 2.
so that should favor team.
But I'm expecting is Cop easy and Bazooka running in, or probably Bazooka coming short with the mid smoke or a short smoke. And that's the thing that I'm expecting to see.
That is a rather good call. They
Yeah.
do like to push in a lot, but I think what we can see is would be really interesting is that who in the team JD decides to hold that long position, and with team JD, especially with the
I
amount of offers they have,
yeah,
they
I
should be
think
able to manage.
Rabbit and GD they should play from sight, because once when a terrorist team is coming in long and flashing everything, then it's better to play from far instead of close at long doors.
Right,
Yeah.
agreed. And we've seen that the off battles in mid and long, traditionally in this map hold a lot
Yeah.
of importance in this map. So it's going to be good to see who in Team JD does pick that op. It is a team that has
Yeah.
traditionally 4 oppers. All of them like to op. Enemy
Yeah.
can pick it up. Offline can pick it up. JD can pick it up. Rabbit can pick it up, and Evolve can op a bit as well. So it's going to be interesting to see
We
how
don't
they
need so
decide
many
the
offers.
roles.
Two offers are fine. And
Right. So it's
the
good.
primary offers are JD and Rabbit for us. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm counting on one of these guys to hold A long, or from A side basically. And they also need a support at shot. So I
Right.
would suggest that one opper and one rifler plays A side and same at B. Or probably they can have one opper at mid to give calls, early calls. So two oppers should play. I mean, one mid and one side.
Yep, and I think with the map changes in Dust that have happened, especially at B, I think it has eliminated the requirement for 2 players playing at B. I think one can play B and the other
Yes,
from mid can support
exactly.
now.
Yes.
So they can
And you can do an easy retake if that happens. And most of the times I've seen that out of 15 rounds you would see more than 10 plus rounds would be an A long push.
right. So
Yeah. So
I think with
you can take a calculated risk of having sending only one pair at B and 45 A basically.
Yep. I completely agree. And this is a map that has been played a lot. Like you rightly said, it's an ancestor for Mirage. Like
Yeah,
both these maps have been played a lot in matchmaking and
yeah. I mean, Mirage is called New Dust.
I could not agree more. I think we're just waiting for one more player who's facing some technical issues to join in, and we should be good to go. Team JD starting on the terrace side, Team Chuck starting on the CT.
Yeah, if
So
Team JD is playing, then yeah, same thing. They should try pushing long. I mean, it's same. I mean, between these teams, I'm seeing that it's more of a strategy. If one team is able to dominate other with better coordination, that
right,
team is going to win. Because 1v1
yep,
battles, the both players are equally good. So
right, and
that's that.
like
So what's going to give an advantage is the strategy they play
agreed.
and how well they coordinate between each other. That's the important part.
Could not agree more. And I think one of the things we did see in the match on Friday was that if Team Chucks does start to lose a couple of rounds together, they do lose their nerves a little. They do try to overbuy and overpeak at times. So it's going to be interesting to see that
Yeah.
if Team JD can get those initial rounds, how do Team Chucks react to that? So that's
Yes.
going to
Yes.
be
Yes.
interesting to see as well. And from Team JD's aspect, it's a team that has played together quite a bit. Barring a couple of players here and there who have been rotated out in. But this is a team that should have that communication down now. But it's still going to be interesting to see that a lot of times with a high impact frag team, they try to over peak at times. They try to over push
Yeah.
at times when they're
Because
being
everybody is
told.
trying to take frags. It becomes a problem
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah, so having those support players becomes really important. Who is ready to take
Yes.
that back seat? Maybe not
Yeah.
get as many frags, but just help his team get those angles and get those peaks right. Flashing them in, smoking
Yeah.
off angles, and I think initially we have seen
I mean,
Rabbit pick up.
in these games, support plays are really important because kills won't always win you matches. You
Right,
need to hold a particular area and block entries. That's very important. That creates pressure and makes the other team lose the nerve and do something stupid.
right. I think very well said. I think it's going to be a very interesting match to see that how those different dynamics come into play and how different players decide to take up different roles and who comes up good, who comes up clutch in this match. I think a lot of players on either side have that clutch gene in them, wherein they can hold their nerve in the difficult situations and stay calm and pick enemies one by one off. So it's going to be interesting to see that how they go and how they managed to play this one. I think we should be live shortly, just waiting for one more player to come in for Team Chucks. We can check with the admins what's the
So,
notification.
who is your favorite player in Team Chucks from the Friday game?
I think this might come from a little bit of from a left field since he's not a very high impact fragger, but I think Ramzik was instrumental in them gaining those sites. And
Hmm.
Scorp and Bazooka, well, the way they played, I wasn't really sure if that was how legitimate that was. That's the level of the game that they played. But sure, I think I believe both the teams have very good fraggers, but both the teams need that support player, like we discussed. So I think Ramzik did that job rather well on Friday.
So, who do you think today would be carrying this role from Team JD?
I think.
Who is going to carry the baton?
I think for Team JD, I think Enemy can pick that role rather well. He is a selfless player who would drop guns, who would take up those smokes and flashes in this early rounds. I think we already see that Rabbit has done it for this round, but I think Enemy is a good support player who can create those angles for you if you have the spawn, or pick up the entry fragger role if required. But I think that would be something that I think JD might pick up, and Rabbit might play the lurk role. But it's going to be interesting to see that the kind of the team dynamic that Team JD has. Everyone can pick up every role, so there's no there is no
No,
slouches in
I've
that
seen
game.
offline do a lot of lurking,
Right,
and I'm counting on offline to do lurk role, and enemy will probably support and evolve. Yeah.
right. I think we're just waiting for a server
Oh,
reset,
wait a
and
second. I think I joined the team. Okay, I went to spectator.
yep, we're just waiting for a server reset, and we should be live then.
Yep.
We should be live any second now. The clock is finally ticked down. We should be live any moment now. Both the teams are ready to pick up the side. Team JD on the terrorist side, Team Chucks on the CT side. Let's see how this one goes. The first map in the BO3 is Task 2, and we are live now. We see the initial momentum going towards long. Smoke out. There's initial interaction towards long. Chucks does drop offline. And there is that call to rotate. Scorp gets one, but gets Chuck's trades. Chuck's does get dropped by Evolve. There are trades going left, right, and center. Enemy gets another. Equalizes the team economy, but Bazooka gets one. Bazooka gets two, and that just leaves JD in a 2v1 now. Hard luck. I think both the trades going left, right, and center. I think it was an interesting dynamic, but teams CTs without trying to enter long without any flashes was a mistake.
Exactly. You have to flash. You have to flash. You cannot afford two players holding long.
Right, and that is why I think Team JD got punished for not buying that utility in the first round.
Yeah,
they have very smart.
A standard B rush now, and I think CTs have picked it up. They're already waiting for them. Okay, so only one guy here.
Right, but I think they've managed to push mid now. These might have heard at mid rush. They're holding their lower tunnel angle.
Okay. Something
they might have heard someone push.
Billy takes one, and that's a team kill.
Right. And Peak gets two there, and with a team kill involved, they should be able to wrap this one. Enemy gets one.
No. JD has been completely, punished for his team kill.
Right.
Offline was supporting him really well over there. He should have. You need some trigger discipline here.
Right. I think stacking that in that very narrow angle, it means that you might come.
You have to hold different angles. You can't all line up.
I think it's
so look at 4 players coming towards A. Now, one player went mid, one player is pushing short, and I think something is gonna happen at short. Yep. Scorpio takes an early kill.
Very aggressive push there from Team Chucks. I think using those SMGs to their advantage early. They know there's a player who can stand behind that smoke, so they're spamming that smoke to clear those angles.
Yeah.
And we see slowly and steadily the players are accumulating outside A and mid so that they can hear those rotations, whereas Peak has been left alone at B to hold that angle if they do decide to rotate towards B, but they know that a lot of them are standing outside A short.
Oh, that's a nice entry.
Initial trades going towards Team JD. They have picked up 2 and they should. That means the A side is secured for them. And
they have one player long, so they have to counter long.
Enemy gets one, enemy gets two. Enemy gets 2 on B A shot, and that means that leaves only Ramzik left alone. He has bought an M4. He would not want to give a skill now. He should just go and save, and that's what he's aiming. And I don't think the terrorists have a solid economy as of now to, kind of hunt him down. That was the first buy round for them as well. But we see that initial trend that the buy round has gone towards T's. And I think even after losing that early kill, they did manage to pick up quite a few kills without getting traded, without taking too much damage, and that has worked in their favor. Ball clearing those long angles slowly.
Ramzik, I think, is expecting. He's hoping for one of them to come here.
Right. And that's a round secured for Team JD. The score is 2-1. Again, this is a really T-sided map. They would want to get as many rounds as they can so that they can, hold back on CT on the CT side and manage things accordingly. We see a forced buy coming out from Team Chuck. Not the complete team is not able to buy. Couple of FAMASs, couple of M4s, and a Deagle out along with an off. Whereas Team JD
has pushed him long again.
Rabbit does spot one.
And that's a smoke fail. That smoke worked for Bazooka rather well instead of Rabbit.
Yeah. And what does Team Jet decide to do now? Do they still want to commit long, or do they want to push off and rotate now? The bomb does get
There are
dropped.
two players waiting for them. But
Offline, here's the player coming behind him, drops one, and it's again. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
very nice kill.
Very nice kill. That's the opt drop for the CTs. But
Chuck is holding shot. He's flashing. Good. Come back. Nice.
Good utility usage, and that means Chuck is dropped. Evolve has
Yep.
managed to enter the A side. They would clear A side slowly and steadily, and they know there's someone long. He has heard that player long. They know one is long, the other is still unknown to them. Do they still hold?
Ramzik is sneaking in.
Bomb has been planted. Evolve gets
They
bazooka
have no idea. Oh, yeah.
where Ramzak is. Yep. Evolve gets caught out. That's a 2v1 situation with offline quite low.
And he
But
just.
enemy peeks out at the perfect time to catch Ramsey off guard. He's looking at short angle.
Yeah,
He just
he
doesn't-
gets his focus on the shot.
Right. He was focusing on that short angle, and enemy just peeks out, swings wide, and takes
A
Ramsey's
really
head right off.
frustrating peak for Ramzik.
Right. Might have not expected that. I think we see 3 nades at the city side. That means they're going to nade long.
Yeah, they're
That's a
flashing
classic nade.
along.
Yeah.
Giving
Nading
proper
long
cover
now.
to Rabbit.
Yep.
And the two nades in. Both the. Oh,
2 nades does got that rule.
yeah.
Does a lot
Both
of
the
damage.
players are
to the
low
team.
now. Yeah. Rabbit
Yeah,
and
but
enemy are low.
But they do realize that there are a lot of players long.
And they've
that
stopped the
could
long
be-
rush.
Yeah, that means that there should be a rotation on. They have managed to pick up a shot.
Yeah, they're coming short. 4 players. A nightmare for Bazooka.
Yeah.
Ramzik is running along back.
But I think the biggest problem here is that look at the HP on the T side. There, quite a few of them are quite low. Pop
Yeah.
gets one.
Look at that. The 2 players who got. Right, 2 guys are coming along. And
They
they
do
took
not have any-
JD by surprise.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem
And
was that
look at that. Just look at that. And an excellent retake by CTs. Excellent. They didn't lose their nerve. Now, this is what I was talking about. No. Coordination.
right.
Coordination and strategy. While they were all pushing in from the 2 sides, the T's were all looking here and there and everywhere. But nobody was holding particular angles and fixing. They didn't have each other's back. That was very,
Right. And we see
mistake of
interesting
that was a
buy.
mistake for them.
Yeah, and we've seen a very interesting buy on the T sides now. And I think the biggest problem was that all of them were stuck at A side. None of them
Exactly.
were holding
Yeah,
short. None of
they
them were holding
didn't
long.
spread out. Didn't spread out. I mean,
Yeah.
they should have taken care.
There's a flash long. There's Oppa holding A long. But what I do not know is there's a selling of fake. A lot of T's holding outside B tunnels. And that smoke does go out.
They are pushing LT.
Rabbit does fail to throw
JD
that
is
smoke.
hoping for someone to show it shot. That's not gonna happen. 2 players are holding mid for CT. That's very aggressive.
There's a very smart boost that
Yeah,
comes out. They were
exactly.
able to look over that smoke, and JD gets caught off guard, and that means that
Yeah, that was a very aggressive peak.
right.
This is what I'm expecting from Team Chucks. Aggressive peak, smart plays.
What does Team JD decide to do now? Rabbit would want to fetch that AK from JD now.
Where's the again?
JD had an AK, I think. So
He
they're
always
for it
looking
now.
every. Where's
Yeah.
the
I think Rabbit has managed to pick that on, so that might have been communicated to him now. 36 seconds left on the round. Do they?
Now,
Please
in this
do want to push
moment,
it?
the Team JD appears completely clueless. They have no idea where to go.
Right,
And they are
I think
expecting, this one.
offline
A very
gets one
nice,
back.
a very nice
Yeah.
cover from him. Good exchange.
Right. Slowly and steadily. That Rabbit gets that initial pick. That means that A side is clear, but A long spot. He's holding those angles. He's waiting.
No
And
time
with
for
10
them.
seconds left.
No time
10
for
seconds
them.
left. I think they should just go back and save. They're still trying to try it for the plant.
Oh, they. No, the plant is gone. The plant is lost. Offline should save now.
Ooh. Can Offline save that off?
Oh,
No, he
and that
cannot.
was a very big loss for them. They lost the op and he also lost the money because he died
Right.
after time.
interesting decision there to go for the plant when they know there's a player long, and with that man disadvantage, I think they were just trying to gain that money for the next round buy, but I think they will have to eco this now. And yep, we see P250s, couple of deagle, a deagle, and a couple of clocks out for Team Donali. Team JD.
Team JD.
Yeah. Let's see how this one goes. We see a classic setup from the CTs, holding different angles, and they do not want to over aggress now. They know should not over aggress now. They know it's going to be an eco. There's no need to push and play aggressive this round.
They need a smoke here, and none of them has got a smoke. And they are getting pounded. Pounded from both the sides.
In the meantime, enemy has managed to get into that B site.
Oh, enemy is sneaked in. Now, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
He gets one, and they're left in a 2v2, but Rapid gets off the right immediately. An enemy here would just want to drop guns for the CTs. That's the only aim.
Yeah.
I think good try from enemy.
At his first pick, I thought he was going to take at least one of them because it was an unexpected
Right.
pick for both of them. They both were unarmed. They were just throwing nades.
Right. But I think.
But that didn't happen. It's okay. Bullets don't always connect.
Right. But I think what's interesting is that CTs did lose a lot of gun, and this is the kind of map where you need those utilities, you need those full buys to come in. So it's going to be interesting. I think they might just sub out the M4s for SMGs and play
No,
this
they
one. I
pretty
think
much have a lot of money. Even now, Ramzik has $9,400 and Creamy Peak. Okay, that's an interesting name.
Right.
Who screams well picking.
I think
He doesn't have a lot of money, but he can have a drop or he can have an SMG or something.
I think we have some technical issues from Team Chucks. I think one of the players have dropped out because of hyping. It should be reconnecting shortly from what we hear from.
Yeah,
both
see,
the teams.
Ramsey gave a drop to Screaming Peak and now he can buy his utilities. Yep, that's a smart move.
I think they do have a lot of good reset potential here. That is, if they win a couple of rounds here, they should be able to reset the city economy completely, and they should be forced to a double eco there.
Yeah, they need a couple of rounds back to back.
Right. And what's interesting to see is that the Team Chucks has managed to secure 5 rounds already on a map that is very T side dominant with the long controls, and I think that might be a little
Basically,
worrying.
I think what they have done is like in the first round, they have pretty much closed long for them psychologically. I mean, we are not seeing Team JD trying to push A long again and again. They more than twice they have went to tunnels, and they are. I think still they have got a B spawn and they could try for a B again.
Right. I think that might happen, but I think biggest problem for Team JD has also been the fact that they haven't really gotten a lot of long spawns. A lot of their spawns have been for mid and B.
Yeah, I mean that's something really random in this game. I mean, you can't actually decide if you can go long, and that happens to us a lot of times. I mean, it happens with me as well. Sometimes I want a long spawn, and I am always like spawned at B. Like, what the hell do I do with this op now?
Completely agree. So I think spawns is also something that
they play a major role.
Right,
In
especially in maps like Inferno and Dust 2.
Yeah, here you need because here who reaches the perfect spot first? It's always a race on this map, and spawn having you being little behind the other guy sometimes makes all the difference. Hello, bazooka.
So we see a lot of interactions there, but we're still waiting for that one player to join back. Let's see. If he does join back, I think probably just facing. He should be in shortly from what we have heard from our team. He's just fixing up his ping, and should be on shortly. So let's see how that one goes. But from all over the overall interactions between the teams, how do you see this Dust 2 going out, and how do you see this playing out for both the teams? Standing right now, which team would you favor? Would you favor Team JD over Team Chucks, or do you still think that JD has got this in the bag? I think we're still facing some issues for Team Chucks. I think finally we have everyone in, and we should be able to. Yep, we should be live again now. Yep, you see the talk. Yeah, the clock is ticking down again, and we should be live now. We again see a SMG buy from Team JD. That's rather interesting buy. I think basically their spawn, they need to have a very strong B spawn, so I think they bought SMGs just to enter that site without any provision and then hold it with the utilities that they have. And we see quickly B flashes coming in, B smokes rushing in, and Team JD is in. They smoke the door angle. They would want to secure the side before planting. They have cleared almost all those angles and now should have an easy plant here without losing any HP. And Team Chucks, they're all four of them are outside the door, so it's going to be interesting to see how this match will enter. Offline does get dropped without Molly and flash combination. Very interesting nade by Bazooka, clearing those angles for them. But there's a team called Bazooka drops Corp, and JD picks one, Evolve picks one, and we see JD pick another, and that just leaves Chucks alone in a 4v1, and that's a good round secured for the Team JD. Interesting, I think Chucks holding those angles alone, and JD gets another, and
I think.
Yep, and we see that pause coming in. I think Chuck's lost his connection again. That might be an issue here. But we see that pause coming out again, and I think they've already unpaused since Chuck is back in, and should be going on. But the whole almost a complete TE team alive, but just losing offline. That was a really good round for Team JD. With not a lot of investment, they have secured that round. That should mean that they, even if they lose this one, they still have a good buy coming in next round. Whereas we see SMG is all out for Team Chucks. And with how the loss bonus works, they should still have money for SMGs in the next round, but we see the utility usage has suffered quite a bit in this round. And we see just one player going towards, two players going towards B and two towards long, with one holding A side passively. We see Flash is going out towards long for Team JD. They would want that long control now with the gun advantage that they have. We see that off is out with Rabbit. There, you see now they're wary of that that mid push. They smoke and usually push mid. They're spamming that angle to clear it, and we see an entry towards short. They spot one player at ramp. He's quite low, but they know that one should be long as well. So again, the flash is coming out to clear those angles. Very smart, but enemy gets dropped. He gets caught off guard from the long peak, and peak gets one. So trades going left, right, and center with peak and then M4 now. JD just clearing the short angle. He does spot one at X4. He spots two at short, gets one, falls back, doesn't lose too much HP in that process. And Evolve gets two. He says, hold on. And that's really smart play. They're playing in teams now. They are trading each other's skills. That's really smart from Team JD there. Good play, I think, securing the round with 4 people alive, 3 people alive. That's a good round for them. And that does force CTs to go into an eco, but we saw that the last time they ecoed, they won that round. So how do they want to play this one? It's going to be interesting to see. Flashes long and a nade coming out long. And Evolve comes out long, but takes quite a lot of damage. Bazooka drops Evolve. And the CTs continue to pressure towards long. And they have lost 2 players in that process, and with enemy on quite a low HP. And that smart grenade usage, clearing that pit angle. JD, a wild spray comes in, but together they are able to secure it, and they should have A side now easily. They should have A side control, but they're against Chucks and Ramzik. And enemy very smartly, speaking over that smoke and gets that kill. And now it's just Ramzik left in a 3v1 situation. He would just want to go back and pick up those guns from long. Does he try to over-aggress any place else? No, he's very smart. He just wants those guns from long. He's going to slowly and steadily peek into that angle. But JD is aware of that, ramification. So he's holding that angle. He doesn't want anyone to pick up those guns. And holding that angle very safely. I think he has another player to on long to support him to make sure that those guns do not get picked. But what might be difficult, but Rabbit does not know that how close Ramzik is, and they do not want a situation wherein Rabbit gets picked off, drops that off, and
But Rabbit is going in.
Rabbit going in. They do spot
And he just
Ramzik
misses
drops
up.
one, but
And
enemy
he
is there
saves
to.
up. Yeah, enemy saves his
Yeah.
up.
Yep. So
I
I
think I
think
just missed a couple of good rounds because of some power outage at my place.
no issues. I think there's quite a bit back and forth. Team JD winning a B rush round with the SMGs that has secured their economy, and now losing just
I think
that
just what we were talking about, a couple of successive wins they needed.
rounds.
And
Yeah,
we can look at the team CT, they are pretty much out of money now. One
yeah,
more round and it will put them in very big trouble.
right. So it's one of those must win rounds for CTs now.
And enemy has disconnected, I guess.
Yeah, I think it will be a good
Even
moment to reset their
Chucks is
mind.
also away.
Yeah,
They need a
yeah.
break. I think somebody should be rushing in with some drinks now. These are some
I think
intense 10 rounds they've just played.
could not agree more. I think Chucks has joined back. I think enemy should be also in shortly. He's just restarted this game from what we know, facing some issue with the registry or lag. So it's always good to refresh that cache and restart your game. Pro trip there. So I think he's just restarted his game to kind of reset that cache and come back in. And very smartly, he did not buy anything for himself. He's just so they do lose that armor that enemy saved last round, but he smartly dropped his op to Rabbit before going off. So shouldn't be a too much problem for either side.
Yeah, and the players having good conversation in chat.
Right, right. From politics to everything else, they've discussed everything in the chat. So good for them. I think this still holds to be quite an interesting match. We see, even if we see an issue on the team JD, we know that they have substitutes already available for them. So it's going to be interesting to see if it is a power outage. I think we already have our substitutes and I should be able to join.
I think having substitutes is pretty important on online games because you never know who is facing a connectivity issue or a power issue. So
Right,
every team should have at least two substitutes available for them.
right. And we see a lot of love in the chat and a lot of support for either side. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes on. We have been raided from Rio Ram from what we can see in our chat. So quite interesting. I think thanks for the raid and please do join us to look at this very interesting high intensity BO3 match. Let's see how this one goes. I think we should be back on from what we can see. Enemy is hopping back on in to the server. So should be live in the next 30 seconds. We have had quite a few stoppages because of technical issues. But it is as expected in these matches. It does happen from time to time. So let's not hold our breath. They should be in any moment now. But from what we have seen in the initial transactions, I would say that this map, like this score suggests, is quite evenly matched. Both the teams have been going, all guns blazing, and it has been quite nip and tuck throughout the match. Losing a couple of rounds, then coming back, and then building a couple of rounds together. But I think what Team JD or Team Chucks would want now is to, string those couple of rounds together and start building up a streak rather than just going back and forth and resetting your economy again and again. So let's see how that one goes.
It seems team CT is pretty much maxed out in their buy.
Right.
And JD is still rich after having an M4. Oh, he has an M4. He got one from CTs.
Right.
So
I think what's interesting is that we do see those effects of those ecos and economy resets on the city side. We do see that the utility has suffered for the cities. You see just a single flash on both Chucks and Scorp, whereas we only see complete utility by on two players, which also involves a decoy for Scream Peak and Bazooka. So let's see how this one goes. But definitely, if Team JD push this one in the back, that should reset the city economy again, and they should be forced to go back to SMGs or a pistol. So let's see how that one goes. I think we will be right back after this short break while we figure out how to get everyone back on the server. So please stay tuned, and we should be back shortly.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Oh, empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this.
And we're back on. We have had to substitute one player out for Team JD because of some technical issues, and that's where having a substitute really comes in. We see Ikanch is in for enemy, and it's a like for like replacement. Both the players do play that support role rather well. But how do you think that will affect the team morale? What do you think, Nalivia?
Well, as you were discussing earlier, substitutes are really important in the game, but right now the problem is, what is this thing? Chalbe? ये तो मैं तो बोला नहीं है. Anyways, so yeah, basically coming in between the game is a little difficult for any player to come in, because right now he doesn't know the team dynamics of the opponents and what strategy and what's the mindset of the your team is. So
Right.
it's really important how he picks up. Let's see how it goes.
Right, and they would want ideally for him to synchronize with the complete team. And I think right from the onset, we see Akansh pick up the op, so that's interesting.
That's a pretty
decision there.
bold move.
Right. Team JD quickly going into clearing that lower tunnel angle. Does see that flash come out from ace shot, so they know there's one player at least playing shot forward. What they do not realize is that they're kind of stacked in mid now. Team Chucks. JD, that's an aggressive nade if I would see one. Opening up himself completely for a spray down, but manages to get out of there without taking too much damage. And initial nades and flashes. And offline managed to pick Chucks off guard, and that means that they have secured that A side completely. Very interesting. They know there's one player long, but the team is slowly and steadily trickling into the A side angle. But this is what I'm worried about. They do not want to want the complete team stuck at A side. They would want them to hold different angles, and that player from long is a different headache for them altogether. They would want to get away from that long player quickly. Akansh does got 2 at shot and misses those first couple of shots and should fall back immediately now. Would not want Akansh gets one, and those trades and that quick gameplay informing his team that he spotted 2 at shot meant that there was a rifler there to kind of help him out there and manage that rather quickly. And that's another round towards Team JD. So Team JD has managed to hop into it rather well without losing too much of their synergy. That's good to see. And we see that the CTs are again reset with the economy. We see Deagles across the board, one P250 and one USP, and the 2 players at B, and they have identified that Team Split does like to go beat a lot, and they initially Ramzik gets dropped, and Ramzik has been that ace support player for Team Chucks. So let's see how this one goes. Rabbit, that's a very interesting smoke. Drops himself to clear those angles. Picks off offline, and that means it's a 3v3 situation. But JD responding back, takes one back for the team, and that's where you see that miscommunication. One player smoking the door angle and others falling it together. They have spotted one player in tunnels, one player pushing doors. Chucks gets dropped, one still in tunnel. They get 2 trades going towards Team JD, and we see that Bazooka still has significant HP. But both Rabbit and Boss are quite low. But picking up that off might not have been the best angle. I think it was not communicated to Bazooka that both the players were low and he could have pistoled them both. But picking that off, turning out to be fatal for him. Let's get dropped, and we see that off coming back to JD again. Does he take that off? He drops it to Akansh again. Akansh has that long spawn, so should be able to get a peek long and spot someone if he wants to. And there you go. Takes a lot of damage, but does drop Scorp immediately. So that's rather good for them. They have modded out the car angle, but not completely. Bazooka is holding that car angle diligently. He would wait for his team. And he has called off that rotation towards A, but what do they realize where the bomb is going? Very slowly and steadily, they have managed to spread out across the map and not commit to one side completely. You see 2 players holding mid for the CT side. If they can switch to see where the bomb is going, that will be interesting to see. He flashes mid, and they have heard a player lower tunnel. Random sprays go either side. All picks up Ramzik. But Bazooka comes with 2 very clutch kills and makes it a 3v2 situation for his team. But with that man advantage, they should be able to plant easily into it's a short plant, so that's interesting. With the op shot, they would want to hold that angle with a rifle and with an op, not just leaving the opper alone to manage a shot completely. Interesting to see JD has pushed out towards long to see if there's any player there, but very rightly and very smartly, CTs have decided to back off. with the lack of utility, they don't really have too much an option to go into that side trying to win those battles without any utility. And smartly, they have backed off into B side holding for the team, since the complete teams would not be able to buy a next round. Those two guns do come in handy. They can be dropped or they can be played around. So let's see how the next round goes. But Team JD has secured that 8th round in the bag, and with the switch of players, I think it has not affected the team morale or the team communication too badly. Kanch has been able to pick up that role rather well, and with the off has performed well up until now. He peaks mid, waiting for to see if anyone crosses. They have smoked mid, and we see two players going towards B and two players rushing towards long. And with one pair helping long and the other one just drops off to A's side. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to play. The way Team JD has played, that has forced Chucks to kind of make sure that they at least have 2 at B, since we've seen that couple of rounds they have had B leaks. So just to avoid that, they are playing 2-1-2, classic 2-1-2 now. We see a mid to B smoke here, and we see Evolve lining up a smoke towards A. There are two mollies towards A to clear that A side. But initial interactions not going towards JD there. They do lose 2 without any response, but Rabbit comes in back and drops Bazooka, who has been playing rather well throughout the game. They have not spotted the player car yet, and Chucks luckily gets one, but then gets traded back immediately, and Rabbit should be able to secure that B plant. Ikansh has dropped that op and smartly picked up an AK so that he can help his team stop that onslaught rush that comes in. And Rabbit with the low HP has picked up the op now. Very smart, following that Bogdan law. Rabbit gets shot immediately. I can't take the trade, but trades do not favor the T side. They were a man short, so they would have wanted Rabbit to maybe get that first pick, and without that first pick, it was always a losing battle for them. So that means that CTs have picked up that 6th round. I think their economy is still not the best with losing as many people as they did, but they should be able to buy as much as they want to. Whereas on the T side, they have a very stable economy. Everyone can have a gun and play accordingly. And they have decided to go with 4 SMGs instead of AKs. That pretty much means only one thing. We see Sukka Blyat coming in very quickly, and that's what we see. We see a lot of players lining outside B. They've entered B completely. Spots one at car. Chuck gets 2 from car. Scream gets 2, and they have managed to completely stop that rush. Very interesting choice to go with all SMGs instead of AK. But we see what they were doing there. They were trying to enter the site quickly, get the trades in their favor, and stop that hold from Teams. But I think very interesting in mid-game adjustment from the team Chucks, making sure that they have 2 towards B instead of that initial 1 towards B and 1 towards mid, and aligning 3 players outside long. They've realized that Team JD is not going towards long, and playing that 2 players at B has really helped them secure these rounds. This is the last round, so we know Rabbit would not be going for that save, but he's worried about 2 different angles. He's looking towards short, does he get timing? He does get timing. Picks up the player shot. They're coming for the knife. Rabbit no scopes one. He says, "No, you should not. Never forget who's your daddy." Drops another, and caught there for a second. Was worried, but in the end, it doesn't matter too much. 7-8, so respectable half for the T side. Both the teams would be rather happy with that, and I think going in here, I think securing just 8 rounds might not be the best for Team JD, so they would want to win this pistol round and make sure that at least they have the momentum going for them, and those breaks and have not caused too much of a pause for them. So let's see how this one goes. Again, in the first round, we see 2-1-2 switch. One player made 2 at A side very smartly instead of going long, and that initial pick going towards Team Manali, Team JD. They do get 1 pick. An interesting fight at short, and they can't just get knife, but JD there with a quick trade. They have managed to push long. They know that JD is playing that A short angle, and there's the 3 plays on the A side. Chucks just managed to overwhelm JD there. It's a 3v2 situation. They do have a kit at offline, so they can still go for this. If they get this fix quickly, Evolve gets 1. Evolve does drop Bazooka quite low, and offline slowly and steadily picking towards side. Does Bazooka peaks at Goose Angle, does spot a player, but gets dropped immediately. And it's again back to 1v1 situation with enough time for the and Evolve. That's an amazing try for Evolve. Ramzik holds his breath, but manages to secure this round, and that means that we have an 8-8 each situation with CTs have to eco here now, and Ts would be able to buy. SMGs come out for the T side, and with one AK at peak, because he did get secure that knife at a shot. So let's see which side they would like to prefer. I think they have stacked towards CTs have stacked towards B, assuming that it will be, but the call has come out now that there's a lot of sound at A shot, so they should start rotating now. The solo player holding A side, Ekansh, has been dropped immediately, so that would mean that A side is secured for the T's and they can go for the plant easily. With two of the players holding that short angle just to make sure there's no one there. Bazooka has cleared CT completely, and that could be really dangerous for the CTs, because now they know that there's no one CT that can only come long if short is also cleared, and that's what's happening. We see one player at long. Ramzik does get tagged, but he's very smartly backed off now. He does not want to give up his kill rather easily, and Ramzik, there's one player there, but he score dropping quickly and drops JD quickly as well without taking any damage. So a very good round for the T side, not losing any plays in that round, and that means that the CTs would have to eco for one more round. They should not go for a buy this round. They should wait for the complete utility. Just pistol upgrade. We see Rabbit upgrading a pistol, Evolve upgrading to a Deagle. Yep, so pistol upgrades across the board with JD just staying with a USP, because he was the one who would be dropping that off or picking up that off. So very interesting choice there. We see a couple of Eagles out. They're holding those angles softly. JD is going to push long. He doesn't see anyone there, but he's given sound. One catches one player off guard, but there's only so much a USP can do against AK. It does drop peak, quite a low HP, but that's all he can do now. Into the smoke with one player coming out. Spots one player immediately. We see Rabbit pushing that smoke, drops one, reduces HP of one another, and now with just one single holding player at B, that always going to be a difficult chance for them, and B very smartly holding that smoke for any pushes there. So they did lose a couple of players, but that's just SNG's drop for them, so they wouldn't be too worried. They still have a very solid economy, and at 10-8, now this is going to be the first gun round, and it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of a what sort of a strategy Team Chucks goes in with. We see a couple of two ops out for Team JD, so they have clearly decided that they want to take that control and want to hold that position quickly. And we see again, like we discussed in the pre-match, the Team Chucks loves to rush. They have spotted one player, Star, and they will drop him quickly. Chucks is quite slow, but they have spotted one player at elevator, and he gets dropped as well. So it hasn't gone the way they would have wanted. Team JD losing those two early players and the op, and you see a 3v5 situation where two players at the side rather low, but does Team JD decide to go for it, or do they want to kind of save for the next round and drop guns for their teammates? JD is playing quite closely. Rabbit has managed to drop HP on one of the players quite significantly. They have decided to back off, but as soon as they did, we saw players swinging wide. And yep, very smartly they have decided to back off now. And JD escape from here? He's where other low ends put. He died to the bomb damage, just about managed to survive 6 HP. Wow. And I think that's a better decision there, not to go for it completely, because the time was always against them, and with the T's with the man advantage, they would want to just hold back and drop guns for their team instead of going in all the way there. And we see a scout come out for the CTs who have still managed to drop guns for their team, and let's see how it goes. Scott holding that move, and so the one passes. He does spot one, does manage to damage Akansh significantly, but Akansh will survive, and he should now just drop off and play it slow. You see Ramzik holding that long angle. He expects someone to push that like they did. But they're out mid and Evolve jumping peaks peak and drops him. like the dirty dog he is. Very well played. Top fun and he's spraying that lower tunnel angle. He's worried that there's one player there. So initially they do have Team JD does have the advantage, but two of their players are quite low. So let's see what they Team Chuck decide to do now. Rabbit gets caught off guard by Ramzik, and that's 4-all with the HP still favoring the side. We see that Chucks has slowly and steadily pushed towards short, but JD is playing quite in an advanced position at shots. This is going to be a very interesting interaction. JD has a silenced M4. That means that any close range battle do not hear that flash coming in, and that's amazing teamwork. Bazooka flash Chucks in, and that means JD was completely blind, did not see anything, and easy. Now they have A side completely with one player left at B. Offline does manage to drop one, and I think at this point in time they have to kind of identify that there's a difference between T side hopping and CT side hopping, and clearly one of the players is forming to that level that they would want it. So they should maybe switch to an AK there and have just one off holding that A side angle. So let's see how this goes, because buying those two offs can be really taxing on your economy, can make it very difficult to sustain an economy and build up an economy just because ops are that costly. So let's see how this one goes. Offline is holding that very secure angle. Very secure. He's playing very passively here. He has heard a player close to that, but Tux gets stopped. That's a bonus there for offline. Tux gets completely off guard there, and that's very well played. But now this is the time to make a decision. What do they want to do? How would they manage to play this one now? And with 12-8, I think they both are poised very rather well. And we again see those two ops coming up. So they have not abandoned the thought of having those two ops. But I think with the teams rushing the way they have, I think they should have abandoned by now. But let's see how this one goes. They have managed to secure the lower tunnel control slowly and steadily. They are pushing into lower tunnel. And with both the P players playing quite an aggressive peak with the SMGs in their hand, would they push? Would they hold? Let's see. Scorp holding, making sure that no one peeks mid. They did tag Kanch early in the round, so they know there is an opper playing mid. So how do they want to play this one? Would be interesting to see. Do they want to play it passively? Do they want to play it slow? Or do they just want to wait for time, and once the city utility is finished, they want to pop into one side? And we see that the teams have managed to save a lot of the utilities for one side. So they are the plan clearly is same, that just wait out, and let's see once the city utility is finished, we can pop into one side with and overwhelm with the utility usage, and we clearly see that is what has started now. Chucks gets dropped to a really low HP, barely survives with 5 HP there. Interesting interaction at B side. Let's see how this one goes. And I'll hand over to you, Dunali.
Don't hand over to me right now. Oh, those are amazing kills. Oh, Scorp takes him. But those are amazing 2 kills by him, and he managed to push them back from mid. And we are seeing a rotation right now. Oh no, they're coming back here because they have seen a couple of players at mid, so they must be anticipating a B push.
With 12 seconds left, they have to force the issue now.
Yeah,
and,
they have to commit to a side, and I think there goes the plant and an immediate kill. Fast.
And they know, JD knows that the player is far
yeah,
away.
Yes. That's really nice. That's really nice. That's taxing for him. Just luck too much.
Ooh, and that final track
That was lucky.
deadly.
That was lucky.
Yeah.
He should have been looking short.
I think that round should help the T's stabilize. Now that's the first round they have secured on the CT side. So,
On the CT side, yeah.
Yeah, so that should mean the team GD now knows that they can
As
do
we
this.
see, a lot of long pushes with flashes.
Right.
That's what Team Chuck is doing.
Rabbit gets one but gets traded immediately. And I think that car angle hasn't really worked very well for Team JD now. I think they just fall back to side instead of holding car, since that is an angle that can be mollied quite
And
easily.
Team Chuck come back and they have acquired mid now. It would be interesting to see what the guy at short does. Evolved. He has one guy just under him. And he
And
takes too
unluckily,
long. He takes too long to peek. He takes too long. You know, it was a perfect opportunity for him to peek because there was a smoke over there protecting him from the high mid. He should have taken a pick faster.
and that aggressive peek at short means that the
The
CT
shot is clear.
these should slowly and slowly start
See,
crippling at
because see,
short.
holding these locations are very important. I mean, if you do an aggressive peek and you die, you open up a site for them. So as we were
Right.
discussing earlier, it's not only about frags; it's also forcing a team to particular route, stopping blocking positions, and making people push back. Both the CTs are holding and saving their ops. A smart decision.
Right, but then JD knows there is a player at short. He did throw that nade, so he's rather worried about that short position. Let's see if they manage to hold this out completely. But little to his knowledge that all the T's have accumulated outside B and B tunnel, so they're just going to hold this bomb and exit safely through tunnels through the T base now. Again, we see that CT economy is so fickle that if you are trying to hold two ops every round, even if one op gets dropped, buying that op again can be rather difficult. So let's see who still decides to op. We still see, now finally Akash has dropped that op. To
Offline is picking
offline.
up now. That is an interesting thing to happen.
Yep, no,
I
offline
was
has been
expecting I was
really
expecting JD and Rabbit to do the offing today.
right.
And Rabbit takes an
Offline,
early kill at T spawn.
but we
And
see
again a
that
long
CT
push. This time long push is not countered and they are pretty much in
Rabbit has been dropped.
a standard city smoke.
They hold the smoke. Wall gets one, gets dropped. JD gets dropped, and now it's just a 2v3 situation. And even with that early man advantage, with no one at A site and A long, that has affected how they have managed to secure this round. So that should be an easy plant for the T side, and offline is going towards long, so he should have a there should be a battle long here shortly. Yep, that's what you see. Akansh has spotted that player in bed. And yep, that Akansh does drop chucks here. So it's a 2v1, 2v2 situation. Who's know where offline is. Offline gets low. Drop misses the shot, but trades go. And Akansh was there to trade immediately, but Bazooka comes on top with that 1v1 situation. And that's another round secured for Team Chucks. And it's a 14-9 situation. Can Team JD come back into this?
Look at that.
Can
Irrespective of the spawn, they all are looking at long.
right.
Because see again, we are seeing a long push with flashes.
Right.
Oh no, this time they decided to go short and B. Okay, and this is the difference.
I think what they've done is they have not consistently attacked just the same side, which was something that Team JD did. Once they identified that the B was weak, they tried to attack B constantly, even then they could have gone long, and they did not attack A long consistently enough. Whereas now, Team JD has identified that they cannot lose long control as well, so they have players situated accordingly.
Bomb is waiting at long. They all are assessing situation, opening, waiting for entries.
They are just waiting for someone to over peak that angle, and whenever they get a pick, that's the side they're gonna push into. So very interesting to see how this one goes. JD is holding a very tight angle at A shot. He can just about see a pixel if anyone jumps up there, but he would not be able to spot
Basically, he's protecting himself from a flash like last time.
someone.
He got flashed and
That-
he was too exposed at that location.
This location also means that he can always fall back if he picks one. Does get pick one, but that spray did not go towards JD's side, and the JD gets dropped, but often picks up chucks, trace go left, right, and center, and they have another off at and that flash does catch Ikanch off guard, and that's he has spotted two players at long. Offline will opt that CT angle to see if he can catch someone from there, but it's smoked well and can't do anything as of now. That's a team kill. That may be a miscommunication. That might be just the thing that Team JD needs to reach back towards them.
That's an amazing shot.
Offline gets
And
one.
yeah, that team kill got really expensive for those guys.
Right.
And two awesome shots by offline. Amazing.
Offline slowly and steadily sneaking into that smoke, gets both of them, catches both of them off guard. Even the player who was looking at him, who was waiting for that peak, wasn't ready for him. And offline, maybe he should have been opping from the get-go. That was two amazing op shots there.
Yeah, he is taking good shots with op today. That's not his standard gameplay, and we have
Yeah.
seen in the past. And it's a B rush. Now let's see how these guys can stop it.
JD with an SMG here, with
With
a
a shotgun.
shotgun here, is going to be really interesting. He should be able to farm money here if the T's do decide to
And
push
they
him.
have stopped the push. T's are going back. That's the way of it.
Scott
And
does
Rapid is
that.
down.
Rapid.
Yep. We have only one guy at A now.
Right.
It's an easy push for these guys.
Let's see how this one goes. They have spotted the player side. He is mollied now.
He's completely. Oh, and he takes him. He managed to take a kill. That's interesting. And Scop takes an exchange with a nade.
That offline gets one, and Evolve catches
Evolve
one off
catches
guard as
one.
well.
Yep.
So he has pushed quite a bit. Do they know where they is?
He
Evolve.
was too exposed over there. Chucks just
Yeah.
sneaked upon him.
Yeah, I think they were not sure where Evolve was, but once he reloaded, they knew where he was.
Yeah, that was an expensive reload.
Yeah.
Oh, nice
Okay.
kill. Jay.
They get sprayed immediately now.
Immediately.
Does he know where he is? Maybe one situation offline has done this previously as well. He has won this round for his team. Can he spot the player first? He doesn't. He was too concentrated towards that goose, and
Goose
that
angle.
smoke. That smoke was smoke from heaven for the T's. That meant that they won that round. And let's see what the T's want to do now. But these sort of rounds just goes on to show that how evenly matched their teams are. Even the score might not completely show, but these teams are very well matched and they are equipped to take each other down. And we have seen quite a lot of ebb and flows. We have seen a lot of rounds just come down to the last kill, and that is what we want to see. That is what we love to see. Initial interaction does not go towards Team JD. JD gets stopped immediately at long, and those flashes aren't too helpful. Ramzik mistimes the flash for Bazooka, but no harm, no foul. Has spotted that player, and that over peak, that re-peak, Kanch might just be too much. The Rabbit has now been spotted, gets one, but they know his car and he can be mollied immediately. With three people firing at him, there wasn't too much he could do after that, and there should really be match secured for Team Chucks if until unless Evolved and Offline can do something otherwise. It's a 3v2 situation, so it's not that difficult for them. They have already secured up their advanced position at long. Evolved gets one. Offline gets one too. And that was such a close shot. Evolve barely misses the last guy. This just goes on to show how close this match has from the get-go. Team Chucks comes on top in the first match, 10-16. Amazing match from both sides. We have had a fair bit of stoppages throughout the match, but that's very well played here. And it's 16-10, and we are on to Inferno now.
Yeah, if you look at the scoreboard and if you look at the kills, both the teams have almost equal kills in all the players, and yet the difference in the rounds is big. It happens, as you said, right? 1v1 games.
Right,
It's
right.
it's really close to say which team is going to win.
I think that substitute really came into effect on the CT side, wherein that sort of communication was really needed. And we saw that, substituting a player mid-match does have its own effects. And that is
Yep.
what we saw.
Yeah, a
You
player
know-
takes time. A player takes time to, come up. It's like a new batsman walking to a pitch.
Right, exactly. Very, very good analogy there. Completely agree with that. So, yeah, I think that is what caused the issue on holding for Team JD on the CD side. And we saw that Team JD just picked up 2 rounds on the CT side just because it became even more difficult for them to hold. In the meantime, we would take a short break here and we would be back with the second match in the BO3 finals. And let's see how this one goes. We should be back shortly. So please stay around. Please stick around.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Oh, no. Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver, no more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar, bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver, no more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar, bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. La 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 la, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver, no more heartbreaks, empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and
And we are back on with Inferno now. We're going to see Team Chuck and we see this on Team JD starting on the T side. So obviously this is up from Team JD. So let's see.
We're trying to push apps now.
Zuba gets the first offline gets off. Zuba gets the second tap. Oh, just catch Peak off guard, but Peak wins that one out as well. And it's really grim for Team JD. All of them get dropped immediately without CTs using any of the players. So pretty much a recap of what happened in Dust 2 as well. So let's see how much. Inferno classically is a very city-sided map where, you know, anywhere from 5 to 6 rounds on the T side should be enough for Team JD here. So they should just hold and play, and when they have that buy round, that come up clutch there. Let's see. The SNGs across the board for the CTs. So and a team flow playing very passively, and he does get smoke, gets get dropped immediately. Peak gets one, Peak gets the second. So Zuka drops one. They're spamming the smoke, crashing the smoke. I'm not sure how smart of a decision that was. They can't see anything from there, and it's just evolved to left now. Can he do anything? Can he pick anything? No, he is also left to just wait one more round. Again, CT is not losing anyone. That should boost up their economy rather well. We see 3,000 and 5,000 across the board for CTs. With still have all their SMGs, so any kills there should be just farming kills for them. We see AKs come out for Team JD in the third round itself, wherein offline has just gone with Deagle. So very interesting buy there.
I think he's saving for op. Team JD has managed to push in set B, and we have Chucks coming to counter them. They are unaware of the position. I think they've spotted them over here.
very interesting round there, and we see another buy coming for the CTs. They did get the bomb down, so they should have enough to get another buy here. We see JD just within Tech 9 here. As you rightly mentioned, the op is out for offline here. So let's see how this one goes. You can see quite a lot of strong B presence here. Spamming this poke. You see Rams is spamming back. No damage traded other side. The nade does come in, but no damage is taken here. Interesting to see, with lack of utility, do they still want to go into B? Or would they slowly and steadily walk back? Oh, they have given a lot of noise that they're leaving B. Whereas we see Jerry get dropped, Rabbit gets traded back again by Bazooka. So trades still favoring the CT side. So the 3-0 advantage here and a map in the bag. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Whereas Corp does catch Evolve now. Offline, that's a very aggressive peak there, but reaps a lot of reward as well. Does drop Bazooka. And it's 3v2 situation with enemy bringing the bomb back with them. Offline, does he realize that he's walking into a stacked site now? Offline, there's some wild jump there. Got something for his team, but rams it there just to support his team and drop those trades in his favor. And that's another round for Team Chucks in the bag now. We see next the SMGs across the board. Rabbit flashes. Couple of flashes towards Banana. They want the early Banana control. They have taken it from the CTs. CTs go back into setting to side. They're mollied so that they cannot be overwhelmed and run. They have smoke CT, but they don't have to wait for the molly to go away. Another smoke comes in. Rabbit wildly pushing into CT, but does get dropped immediately, giving that sound back where he was. The ball drops one, enemy drops one, and that means the piece is completely clear and right for the taking. 4v3 situation. Couple of upgrades on the right. JD does spot one player there. He knows there's one CT. He knows there's one more CT. He has spotted the leg of the other player as well. Trying to jump out of that angle.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
It does leg peek as well there. Whereas Bazooka drops. They know where Bazooka is coming from. Bazooka takes it. Wide swing. JD catches one. Evolve.
An excellent hold by JD.
Yep. Very well played by JD there. Once he got that off, he made sure that no one could enter or rush that CT angle, and that's very well played.
Now let's see where they decide to go. And we see the terrorists.
And we see that the way the rounds have gone, CTs are quite low on economy now. Okay. If they lose this round, that should mean that they're forced to score there. With just Chuck left with enough to have a back. Ooh, Scott misses that shot. Evolve gets one, Evolve gets two. That means B side is technically open for them. They would slowly and steadily trickle in, and we see Rams can go rushing to support.
They're spamming B side and giving them an ample time to rotate back to B. Look at that twitch. Look at that rotate. All the CT team is at B right now. And one guy has taken a push. Ramzik has taken a boost and killed the bomber over there.
Ramzik spots another. But JD there.
JD takes it.
To the match.
An excellent shot by JD.
3 ops for these teams right now.
They're unaware of the guy. And offline picks him. We have 3 ops at T sides. They realized that and they picked up an AK.
Very interesting to see how this one goes on. They have managed to claw their way back into this one, and we see just one nade or a couple of nades come out for the T side, and they have to eco this one.
For a moment, I was worried because I saw that they held too long at outside B and they're giving CTs and enough time to come back to the site. Now look at that. 3 guys at B are pushing forward, and we see lots of nades exchange, and they managed to get 2 kills.
and they're
One guy
spotting
still at
another
second mid, and he gets him by a nade.
enemy. Both
He's coming
Rabbit and
behind
Enemy were
them.
low. Enemy is still quite. Rabbit is still low. Oh,
Nice.
Rabbit turns last second and catches the player.
Just in time to protect his back.
Right. And I think
Bazooka
this
still
player.
holding at banana,
I
hoping
think.
for them to still come here.
I think there was a slight hesitation from Peak there. I think he was confused. Should he go for the knife or should he just kill him there? And I think that slight second that was enough for Rabbit to turn around and kill him there. So very interesting to see. Rabbit was quite low, so that would have been an easy kill for Peak there, but he misses that one up. And Bazooka has managed to pick up an AK in mid now. Does he decide to come and try this, or does he go back and save that
Yeah,
AK
he
for
should be
his?
saving it right now because or take an exit kill. He spots the player
Right. Is he
and
offline?
it goes back.
Offline exiting with the AK there.
And he picks up offline at second mid. We have two ops, and they should be protecting their ops right now, and they do. JD is still trying to take a peek, but Bazooka is hiding rather well, and he brings an AK home for his teammates or for himself. I think it's for himself.
I
Nah, he
think the
gives it to Ramsey.
CT economy is still not that strong. They do not have enough utilities along with the guns to hold either of the sides.
Yep,
It's gonna be
we are
interesting.
seeing a mixed buy over here. We have one guy is using on the Deagle, one an SMG, and two M4s over there, and three AKs and two ops at T side.
So I think winning this round or losing this round for the cities means that their economy will take a toss again. Only two of the players would be able to buy if they lose this one. So let's see how they go about this.
Yeah,
Initius rush from score, but he gets
enemy
one by
takes him.
trading
Yep,
it. Good trade there.
Ramzik is holding at A site. JD trying to pick him at arches, and he misses. JD misses the shot.
Slowly and gets
They're
getting
rushing in the
closer.
apps, and I'm pretty much. And again, he
Bazooka,
missed.
yeah. Bazooka did hear him smoke him, so he knew they were there. And
Enemy takes bazooka and rabbit. Almost
2v2 situation still with both the players with the
one
guns
guy
there.
shot and another rotation coming from B. So if they take one guy, it should be
Do
easy
they
for
know?
them.
Do they know that Ramsey has that?
Nah, they don't know about his location. And he takes him by surprise. Enemy has given away his position to Chucks. And though enemy anticipated it nicely, but Chucks
Though,
barely manages to shoot him.
yeah, that angle can be quite difficult for both the
Yes.
sides to peek into. So
No, I
you
think
know,
it's more difficult for the guys in the pit because it's a wide range from where the guy is going to come up, and the person coming from the graveyard is pretty much one angle to see.
right, right. And I think we have taken a pause for. I think the players were experiencing a little bit of FPS lag. That's why this pause has been taken to kind of fix that up on up, and we should be on shortly. This should not be a longer break. So,
I think.
ball.
Do you think we should bring one of the team guys over here during these match pauses and have a chat with them? What's going through their minds?
I think what we have experienced during this pauses, the teams discuss which side they want to go into, what they want to do, and what they're seeing. So I'm not sure how ready the teams would be to come out to us, but that's a really good
Two
idea.
guys have disconnected.
Yeah, I think JD has been dropped. Ramzik has also disconnected from the server. They're probably just gonna wait for a bit to join back so that their FPS is fixed. Maybe just restarting that game, resetting that cache, that would be helpful. But I think from the way this match has gone, it's been quite nip and tuck. I
Two more
think,
players goes. Wow.
yeah, I think they're just trying to rejoin.
Team Chucks is going away. Yeah.
It's
They
going
all
to
are
be interesting.
restarting their games, I think.
Yeah, yep. I think that's what's going to happen here. We do see JD pop back into this game, so we know that they're just going to restart the game because they were facing some FPS issue there. Um,
Yeah, I heard I saw the team chat over there.
yeah, and I think what does that means is that a lot of players who survived that round lose their armor, but I think only Chuck survived and he has to disconnect, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. As is.
And they are back. 4 people for cities. Still waiting for JD. And one more guy at T side.
Evolved and JD
Evolved,
output.
yeah.
Yep.
CTs are full. Evolved is back. JD is left.
And to all our viewers on YouTube, we should be back on shortly. So do stick around. We're just waiting for a couple of
And the
players to
teams
get
are
back in.
back.
Yep,
Both the
we see all
teams
of them in.
reassembled.
Yep, and we should be good to go any moment now.
And we are seeing an op coming out on CT side. I think he should be holding a site or probably mid with that op of his.
I think places they spawn, I think they might just be going B.
I'm still waiting for 3 purchases over there.
Right, I think
Op
the
has
guns were
gone
dropped.
B.
Yeah, the guns were dropped when they disconnected. So I think it's just
Yeah.
getting
And it's a B push coming in. Very lucky for Scop, and he picks for one. Goes back. And the B push is stopped right there in his track.
that nade did a lot of significant damage there to the nade from Chucks. So
Enemy is pretty low right now.
yeah, and I think that rush is, like you said, has been swiftly stopped in its steps. What do they do
Mid is smoked.
now? Let's see.
Offline still trying to make his way to B.
They have given sound towards B, so they might now rush in.
Now they should be aware that there are 2 players here, one at CT and one at... And Scope picks one more.
There's quite a lot of rotation here, and I
Chucks
think
picks one. And the CTs are back in the game.
one by one,
Not giving any chance to T side.
And all 5 players surviving. That means that should boost up the CT economy again, which was fickle when we saw it. And now the T's have to make a decision: do they want to buy or do they want to eco and spawn?
I think the pistol upgrade for 4 of them, and one guy is coming with an AK. Yep.
And they have just enough in the bank. I think 2,000 across the board does mean that they can buy properly next round. So smart decision there by this T's, just to
We see Scorp still
overextend.
trying to take a peek at Banana with his op.
JD gets one.
And he gets one.
Bazooka has hurt players in apps, so he knows that. Falls back, but JD gets another. JD is on fire. He says, "Don't worry about anything, guys. I've got this. Just keep the AK with me." Chucks does drop rapid. Ooh, that nade could be really impressive. Oh, just drops shot. And that molly gets JD down.
Such aggression, not giving any space to tease.
Right. Good utility usage there. Enemy gets one but gets traded immediately and they know where offline is. Has given up his
yeah, it was almost very difficult for him to hold from there.
Yep.
And 2 guys are coming in from different directions, absolutely knowing about his position.
But I think the T's should still be very happy with dropping 3 people with a semi-eco round that they had. So I think that was very good round for the CTs, for the T's as well. And especially for JD, buying that AK, he has justified buying that AK completely, getting those 2 kills early in the round.
We are seeing again 2 ops from T side. I wonder what sides are they going to pick. Rabbit rushing towards mid and offline taking off the apps. But as of now, I have not seen CTs pushing through apps, so I think 2 ops are unnecessary over here. Yeah. Ramzik picks one, Rabbit takes Ramzik. Creamy trying to hold arch. And Teasers have sneaked in from short, and taken bazooka. Enemy smokes. Enemy gets screamy peek. He saw him getting into that corner before he smoked. And we see Chucks coming in from apps and Scott from A shot. Chucks take offline and Chucks takes enemy. Both of the player are down by Chucks. Excellent shooting by him. An easy defuse for these guys. This is pretty much a CT side map, so what we are seeing is what we were expecting. Yet, I think Team GD can do much better because the mistake they are doing right now, they're having 2 ops again, and again they have got 2 ops and 2 AKs and 1 just pistol. Enemy, an easy kill for Scorps. Scorps is down and JD should pick his op. JD picks his op and takes Amzik. And Chucks has taken a boost, taken JD by surprise over there. After 2 kills, he wasn't expecting one more guy. Bazooka is trying to backstab them and they will try to run into him. And he takes 1 kill, Evolve takes him back. Bomb going to A rather fast, and we are seeing Screamy Peak rush towards A. And they're both going to credit arches. And he takes up Rabbit. Bomb is planted and Screamy Peak is going through the site. He's not waiting for his another player. Or rather, he's waiting and making his noise, trying to confuse Evolved, but Evolved is in a rather different position. He should be able to pick Chucks over there. And he does. Nice save by Evolved. Very nice save. Screamy Peak going for a diffuse, hoping that he will not peek and think it's a fake, but Evolved got him rather well. The 2 ops are going pretty expensive for T side. They should stick with 1 op and 4 rifles. I'm seeing again, yeah, now we have 4 AKs and 1 op. This good, rather balanced equipment for T side. And now the economy of CTs has gone rather down. They have very less utilities. Evolve takes Ramzik. Chucks and Scorp are holding B, and we have Bazooka trying to sneak behind them. He takes them by surprise, but unable to get a kill over there. And yeah, he's gone. Rabbit gets peak. A side is clear. Chucks coming in to hold the push. Gets immediately overwhelmed by 2 of them on both the sides. Takes Rabbit over there in library. Scorp is deciding whether he should save or should try. I think they both the teammates have decided to save their weapons over there. No use on going A side like that. And we are also not going to see any chases over there. When T's want to save their weapons and don't want to do anything stupid to lose their AKs to the CT side.
Yep, and to all our YouTube viewers, I would just suggest that while you're on the chat, do like this stream, do subscribe, and there is a giveaway scheduled at 100 subscribers for an obsolete build which you can enroll in if you subscribe to our YouTube and go visit our Instagram as well and go follow our Instagram as well. So for all our YouTube viewers, do that. We are in the BO3. We are in the second match between Team Chucks and Team JD, and this is the second map. Team Chucks managed to win the first map, D2, rather well, and with a score of 16 to 10. And I think securing the 5th round here has been quite interesting for Team JD. They would be happy here, and any rounds from here is just a surplus. JD does drop peak immediately. Ramzik has been spotted. Rabbit
does the damage over there. Takes Bazooka and Ramzik rather fast. clearing A side for them. That's a
That's very
pretty
strange
much.
plan from Rabbit,
Yeah,
but
a pretty open plant over there.
yeah, right,
I think he didn't waste any time to decide wherever he
right.
just planted. And that's a
He
good
gets
win
stopped.
for T side.
Right. That means that in the last round, I don't think the CT will have enough to for everyone to buy just because of the round that has gone. So it's an
And they should be
interesting round.
positioned up. They have got 3 rifles and 1 SMG, 4 rifles and 1 SMG. Pretty decent buy with rather low utilities.
Right.
And I think
And
see when the T side has decided to keep only 1 op and 4 rifles, they are able to come back.
you see the initial interaction going towards the CT side. Offline gets stopped and Rabbit.
Evolves him waiting for somebody to pick from banana, but moves back. Scorp not giving them any easy peek. Both the players are deep inside B side, waiting for them to come in, and they're playing cross positions. And a very bad smoke from T's over there. A huge gap for Scorp to look into. I think T's have realized that and they have gone back. Scorp picks evolved. And he picks enemy and he takes rabbit. And he just annihilates the entire team. JD is still trying to figure out where to go. He takes Screamy Peak rather fast and goes back to the bomb. Let's see who he's expecting over there. Very nice try by JD. Now let's see how things happen on the other side, where the tables are turned. And is Team Jager going to hold the sites properly? They have 2 hoppers, and I think they should be holding sites very well now.
Right.
I mean, they were taking 2 ops at T side, and I was like, again and again thinking, what are they doing? Why are they having 2
Right.
ops?
Right. I think it was interesting for Evolve to pick up the off. I think we were that is what like we talked about initially that everyone in this team can pick up the off. We see that Nate doing quite a lot of damage, and they have identified a lot of places with speed. And we see the rotation already started from
Fast rotation from cities.
Yep. Enemy gets one.
No.
JD picks one.
Chucks takes evolved. And JD takes Chucks. And another one. He's trying like Bazooka, but Bazooka takes on JD. And one more kill. Fast headshots by Bazooka, but offline picks him in the end and gets the round. Very nice round for the CTs over there.
And a huge round coming out from JD. This was a very important round for the CTs to win. If they want to equalize the score, this was a long way in equalizing the score. But if they lose this round, they have to equal again. So that means that winning this round means that they can equalize the score.
And we see an interesting buy. We see Rabbit picking up a Scout. I like to call it a Chinese op, It doesn't kill in one shot. You have to take 2. It makes you run faster. It behaves very strangely. Now let's see. I'm interested to see what he does with his Scout. Rabbit tries to take a fast peek in mid, but unable to get one.
You see, the T sides have also bought.
Offline has picked up Chucks.
They are pushing towards stopping.
A good cover flash. And he's down. Scorp takes JD. A side is pretty open for these guys. Only Rabbit holding it with his. And he misses 2 shots. He goes back. He knows one. And Scorp takes the nade. After getting hit, you really need to switch your positions. You can't stay in one place.
In the meantime,
You should know one guy is at shot, another is fit. And Scorp takes one more.
and luckily this flash was just a second too late. And Scott did see where Evolve was, and even when he was blind, he sprayed the same position and got Evolved.
So good.
So since they got the plant on in the first round, they managed to force buy, and even though the round was close, I think the CTs are now stuck and have to eco and
Oh,
reevaluate all the
I've seen these guys taking an AK in the second round. So this is a third round for them.
right.
They like to do that. They in the second round they don't take SMGs and they try to take an AK and have an upper hand.
Right.
Immediately outgun the opponents. Now the entire city team is waiting at B. Only offline holding A for them, and we have 4 players in apps. Is he aware? Because he's not calling his team back.
Right.
And Chuck dies at B. Still 4 players at B. Has offline called them back?
He has to have heard. Please, yeah, but
Now he has, but it's too late. It's too late. They're going to overrun, and they spot him. Now this is going to be very difficult for cities. Entire T side is inside A. Equipped, better equipped than them. And with some we see 4 fast kills. Only Rapid staying, and he decides to save his Deagle, I guess. No. He's waiting for an exit. And he dies. Okay.
I think at that point it's worth trying to go for that exit, just
Yeah.
because you know that it's just a deagle that can be fought back.
Yeah, you can damage a guy, you can, make them lose a weapon, force them to buy again. These small things make a huge difference.
Right. You see an off out again. Evolved does manage to push. He walks into that spray, into that spam. How unlucky is that?
TZ decided to go A. 2 people are still trying to go to B.
Right.
Scorp
there's-
spearheading their entry at B. And we have an offline takes Scorp. Bomb goes back to A. Rabbit trying to sneak behind them but unable to take any kill. Bazooka takes him easily. I think we are going to CTs are going to save again this round.
They have to at this point.
Yeah,
They can't actually go.
yeah. There's not much they can do. Once you lose A side, and if you lose it to like 4 opponents, it's very difficult to take it back.
Right.
If
I agree.
there are only 1 or 2 guys holding A, you can still do you can do a 1v2 retake, but 4 guys holding A, it's even difficult for 5 people to retake it.
Right. Right. So I think that's a smart decision. They still have guns into the next round, and they can, with their economy, they can still drop a couple of guns if required.
And offline takes 1, damages Ramsey, and try to take 1 more. But he got lucky over there.
Right. Guns dropped on the T side, and what we did not notice was there is a team kill as well. One more player for the T's died, so they have to buy for him as well. So only 3 T's survived.
So now we are seeing 1 op and 4 rifles from T side. Just the buy they should have. And CTs are unable to have 2 ops till now. Only 1 player managing to get an op. They're trying to blind offline. One guy's in. Has he called him? Let's see what GD does.
Offline gets dropped immediately.
GD takes
one
enemy.
trade.
Enemy takes Scorp. Bazooka takes Rabbit.
It's a 3v3 situation.
They know where JD is, but JD does not know.
Where they are.
Yeah.
Top.
Evolved Screamy Pick. 2 fast kills.
Enemy
And he has no idea. Evolved has no idea where Bazooka was shooting from.
how unlucky is that? I think
Yeah, he was still expecting him at
dark, yeah,
duck over there.
right,
Rather
right,
delayed call from his teammate. As we were discussing earlier, that this game is all about coordination and your teamwork.
right.
You all can take shots, you all can take fast peaks, but it comes down to your strategy and your coordination. You have to give callouts very fast. Don't
Right.
expect your teammate to see the map or see the
To
bullets
know,
coming from. It does not
right,
happen. When somebody is rushing in, he can't always see the map.
right.
So one standard thing is once you die, you immediately tell the location of the person who killed you.
Right.
Something.
Smoke's coming at B. Ooh, enemy gets a very fast peek and drops 3 BP immediately.
Enemy trying to take a boost. Offline takes a boost from there,
From an enemy, yep.
and the T's have gone back to A. Only one player lurking over here for to hold them. Three players are holding B for no reason, and we have only Rabbit at quad. Archers.
With that smoke, they wouldn't know that there's a rotation.
Nadina, he has called enemy back. Oh, he should have taken him faster. He takes 2 kills, but he's unable to save his teammate. He rather should have picked him fast, or at least told his teammate that they were players over here.
And now it's a 1v1 situation.
Once again, what I'm seeing is a lack of coordination between Team JD.
And in this 1v1 situation, JD is rotating from B. He does have an AK in hand. And I'll get to that. This is
Bazooka
very
goes to apps. He's checking apps, expecting him to come from mid. But Bazooka is already sight. Or JD is already sight.
but the bomb is planted for us.
Still, it's a game of hide and seek over here.
Right.
Both players trying to. He hears the defuse. JD waits for him to peek. He just turns. Wow, unlucky for him. Very.
There's no time.
Oh, JD tries to he managed to pick him, but too late for the defuse. Very unlucky. If he had held on apps for one more second, he would have got Bazooka.
And just goes on to show how close this game has really been. Coming down to those 1v1 clutches, round after round. Last time it was Bazooka, getting that 2v1 situation, and again with Bazooka in a 1v1 situation with bomb planter. These teams are very evenly matched. It's just the CS:GO timing is not working for the team GD today.
A rather blinded pull from JD. Rabbit takes Bazooka, and Screamy takes Rabbit. And B side we lose one more player. Enemy trying to come to B, but these have went to A. Offline hears them, and he should give the call. He should call his teammate back, and I think he has done it, but too late. Terrorists have again got the site. 4 players holding A again. Screamy hears him scoping in library, and he hears him as well. Very sneaky position from him. Managed to kill last 2 players over there.
Right, and in that all that chaos, often just missed a very close shot on Screamy. I think he did check for him initially, but still managed to pick the other guy.
I'm looking at this game is very different from the last game, and I mean last game we were seeing a lot of close rounds, and even the kills were very close from both the sides.
Right. I think this is just how.
And they pick up Rabbit again. The T's have become rather aggressive in the last round. They have 2 ops and 3 rifles. Not much from the CT to hold on to. They lose one more. And B is open from them.
Right, I think not.
Enemy are still trying to understand where to go. And they're hunting for him. Enemy coming from banana. Makes a final move. T is rather enjoying this. He takes 1 kill, and he's down. A nice game.
GG boys. Yeah.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's flow for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what